until now, like you're kind of in the morning going and then coming off the field. And we haven't even been on the field yet today, so it's kind of a resetting. We were late last night, so getting ready to go. Are you guys ready? All right. Obviously getting ready, little different challenge going on the road this week, again, with a new team. I looked at something the other day, right, and that was amazing, which the big growth. Like if you take our 25 starters, like the 11 offense, 11 defense, the 3 specialists, am I right on, so 23 of them, there was first-time starters of the 25 for us, so that was interesting. But that experience, and this will be a different one this week. Every week is going to kind of the interesting part by mid-season, obviously, then everybody's a returning starter, right? I mean, they have that experience. They've been in different scenarios, different situations. Obviously, this one for us, the first experience, all of us going on the road together. It's on kind of a short week. We play late Friday night, so I guess by measurement of the clock, I mean, it's like a 16-hour, shorter week or something, but in sleep time, it's very different as we go to get ready. So I need to see the big improvements from week 1 to week 2 and really within the game and watching the game. When we did things well, I thought we did a lot of things really well. When we did things poorly, we did them really poorly. It was a lot of extremes in the course of the game more than consistent good football. So I'd rather have more consistent good football top to bottom this week. But, it'll be a tough challenge, obviously, anytime you go on the road. Good team. They played last week, so they're kind of the same boat. They're looking to take their big steps from week 1 to week 2 for the game this week. So, but hopefully we see those steps and we're much improved.
In your other coaching places, did you prescribe to week 1 to week 2 because you had so many new faces, so many different rotations last week? Did that prove true week 1 to week 2 in terms of improvement?
Boy, I mean, everything's so different so many times. I mean, it can be schedule based, right? I mean, I've had some where week 1's a huge game and week 2's an FCS team or something like that, like in the past, or like it was, or like we've had other ones where it was a huge game week 2. So I think there's so many different scenarios and situations that each team's so independent. I just think the whole routine, I'd like to see us, better. I mean, just every aspect of it, of getting into a game situation and going to perform in those situations. That's going to be really the biggest one I want to go see. Open field tackling, the speed of the game. I mean, you started the game, our get-off, we were slow on the D-line. We missed some tackles. Offense, obviously, every time we got behind well, not every time, the one we hit a big play, but we'd get behind the chains and kind of get out of rhythm and not recover from it. Some of those issues you really want to see us kind of adapt to the game situation, or different than a practice situation.
Is everything you saw in film, like you said, tackling seems to be fixable? There seems to be a lot of things that are fixable on film.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there's a lot of, I was sitting there with Paul, we gave up way too many explosive plays, right? But I think half of them were, guys leaping up, making spectacular catches more than, now some of them were a bad fit. Some of them were a missed assignment where a guy went the wrong way, and, we left the middle of the field wide open for the long touchdown. We're supposed to have a safety back in the middle. Those are coachable ones, the tackling coachable ones. And then, the other ones, it's hard to coach, saying, hey, this guy went and jumped up, and we had a guy right in his face, and they made a spectacular catch. That's going to happen. It's applaud their guy for making great plays. So I think all of those are different, and when you look at them, of which ones are coachable, and then look and say, hey guys, we're going to play good players that are going to make great plays. We got to make sure we respond from that, but make sure we're making the plays we should make. Don't give them the other easy ones.
Coach, to that end, cover 0, I think a few times, like 3 times, and you guys got gashed. Was that in an effort to put more pressure on the quarterback? I know that they were double teaming Chief Borders. How could those
just to get some, the last play of the game, it worked out pretty well. for them. You know, I mean, they had their fourth down call. We decided we're not going to let him sit back there. And their guys that leapt up, like we said, and made some special plays. Let's get the ball out of his hands quick. We brought the house, and you know, that was the play we needed to make at the end of the game.
One other question. This week you face Hunter Watson, the quarterback. How do you contain him?
Well, you know, he's a little different style quarterback than what we faced last week. You watch of him. Obviously, he had a really long run on quarterback draw. Like he can run the football, but you see a lot of his plays too are you know, the kind of the off schedule plays. His ability to scramble, extend plays, do some of those things. So you got to do a good job of containing him, keeping him in the pocket that way. You know, but he can also hurt you with the quarterback run game, like the actual called quarterback runs, not the extended scramble. So you got to be aware of both of those situations, try to contain him and contain his running ability.
Coach, there was a lot of chatter online just about how much yardage the defense did come up, but you guys did come away with 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
So how, when you look at film, do you kind of find that happy medium going into week number 1?
Well, like you do, you look at everything. Like I thought, but you know, I guess it'll sound crazy. I thought the film was better than I expected it to look like watching it the next day. You know, and like you said, when you're looking at the mistakes, a bunch of their plays were their guys. They made some spectacular plays. We allowed them to stay on the field with a couple of third down penalties and mistakes. I think they had a couple of third and super longs where they leapt up, and the one on the sideline where they looked like the kid, you know, the one, both of them, 2 third and super long plays that got reviewed. In both calls, they did the call stands, you know, but when you're not on TV, you don't get those angles. I think, you know, if it was a TV game, I don't know, like the game film, it looks a little different to me, but than what they said. But you know, those are opportunities. And then you take the extended ones on penalties. Those are, you get given up opportunities that we don't want to give up to allow them more opportunities. Obviously, first down is where you have some of the explosive plays also came from. But it is like I think we look at the good, you look at the bad. We got to fix the bad, keep improving on the good. That was on tape, and. You know, the positive is like the last 3 drives, really the fourth quarter was a big positive to me. I mean, when you look, you have all of these new faces, basically an entire, almost a new roster, new coaching staff, all of that stuff in a scenario that we were in a tight scenario. The mindset, the attitude, the effort of the players, I couldn't have been more pleased, because that could have gone, you know, those guys could have started pointing fingers and saying, hey, well, you do your job, I do my job. You know, they stuck together and glued together as a team, which you don't like. I mean, that's the one that I took away from the game, that we're in a scenario where with all the new faces, all the new coming together, and immediately thrown into a very difficult situation that I think would be very easy to fracture people apart, actually pulled everybody together more, and I thought that was really positive.
Back center, Coach. So sticking to the tape and the defense really quick, Terrence Welch had himself an amazing game on Saturday. Looking at the film and breaking it down, what about his game on Saturday against Idaho State kind of jumped out to you?
Well, I think, you know, that both interceptions, just him being smart. You know, both of him interceptions were not, the ball was not being thrown to the guy he was covering. It was him understanding the scheme, him being in the right place at the right time, you know, which is the stuff that you want to see. You know, those are the good things. Those are when we talk about guys making the unspectacular plays, right? I mean, his interceptions weren't like you saw him leaping through the air and making a one-handed stab, like, you know, diving in front of somebody. He was in the exact right position at the right time, playing good football, and makes the play that is there to be made. And we talk to our guys a lot about that, of making sure just do your job, you know, do 11 guys out there just doing your job. And we showed a bunch of clips, and, you know, like the interceptions were 11 guys doing their job, and all of a sudden, we end up with some interceptions. You know, I go back to like one of Jet's long touchdown run, not the one he broke a couple tackles, the other one. I don't know anybody really did anything special on that play. We kind of rocked off the ball, covered up our people, blocked, right? He hit the hole. He didn't get tripped or fall down. and kind of ran straight ahead. Like, you know, I mean, quarterback kept out his fake, and a guy ran with him thinking that because he had a really great fake off of it. Like, you know, just showing our guys that we don't have to make spectacular plays. Just trust in the system. Just everybody, 11 guys doing their job. Because a lot of the mistakes, we had 10 guys do their job.
And one more
and
time.
one guy miss, and all of a sudden it's a big error, you know.
And then sticking to the tape one more time, looking at the offense. You mentioned during training camp that it takes about 3 years for a quarterback to really understand an offense.
Yeah.
Seeing Anthony Calandria and Alex Orji for the first time in game speed under this new offense, what'd you make of them?
I thought they played fantastic. You know, that was the best I've seen them play, better than in scrimmages of managing the game, checking the ball down, not getting frustrated or forcing the ball down the field. Good reads. Both of them graded champions for us, which and neither of them had graded the champion in any scrimmage we'd had so far. So I was pleased with that performance, but again, I want to see that continue to grow. I mean, I think one of the things that really showed is that they've played before. You know, they might not have started for us, but they've started games, and they were kind of ready for that game situation and the bright lights.
I know you're going to get sick of this question, but it is about the quarterbacks. Have you named a starter this week, or?
No, because we haven't done the script, so I don't know what the first play of the game is. I think both guys. I think you see how they feed off of each other with some different skill sets. I think, you know, in seeing what they bring to the table of helping us win football games, that you both will play again on Saturday. Maybe they'll both start again. They both started last week, right? Huh? My playbook goes deep now. Maybe you'll see both of them again this week. I don't know. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag just yet, but you're going to see both. We'll see both of them again, because I think like I said, when they have different skill sets, they bring a different dynamic. They make us a more dynamic offense, which I like.
Just want to talk about practice last night, just the urgency you saw from your guys in a night practice.
I thought it was great, but, you know, also, you know, I got with Coach Marr, and it was one of our, like, fastest practices when you look at, when we track our guys, one of the hardest, fastest practices we've had, which I was excited to see, you know what I mean? I think playing at night, practicing at night helped, because I think, you know, last week during the week was our hottest practice days we had. It was a nice, cool evening. I know classes started up, which are kind of affecting. I was hoping to go at night all week this week. With classes starting up, I'm not able to do that just because it's a late game. You know, if you can ever practice, kind of mirror practice sometimes to kickoff time, the body clock gets going. You get used to that. But you know, I was really pleased with the energy that guys came out, you know, almost to the point where we got to be a little careful of how hard everybody was going to practice, just keeping everybody healthy.
Speaking of just getting ready for the game, want to talk about your O-line, just the consistency you're seeing with them. What is the improvement like this week with those guys?
Well, you know, I want to see a lot. I thought at times, like, you know, like other things, at times I thought we played really well on the O-line. You saw some mistakes. Some of the mistakes were critical mistakes. I think sometimes in the game, too, we let one mistake add into two. As you get into, right, you know, you look at Alani at holding penalty. Right, and I'm not taking a shot, right, like at the effect. Like I looked, I'm like, but he probably had 3 other times that looked worse than the one they called him on, right? You know, I'm like but it kind of frustrated him. I'm like, you just move on to the next play. I mean, like, they could have called you multiple other times. They called this, right? Will Thomas had an unsportsmanlike penalty, but that one, like some of those, let us affect the next play. If you gave up a sack, it let us affect 2 plays instead of just 1. You know, some of the stuff on the O-line. That's some of the stuff, not just really with the O-line. A lot of guys on the team, as you saw, like we let one negative play affect us for multiple plays, or one momentum-shifting play affect the next one, right? We had, like, you go to the game, the 4th and 1, we have a bad fit. They're able to convert a 4th and 1 in the third quarter deep in their own territory, where you get a stop there and a score, and all of a sudden – middle of the third quarter, we're you know, from being down at halftime to up 14 or something in the middle of the third quarter. I mean, a huge momentum swing. well, we have a bad fit. They get the 1 yard on 4th and 1. Next play, 70-yard touchdown pass because we have a blitz, right? Just those little things of letting one play affect others that I think is a growing factor for the team coming together, for the program coming together, and for some inexperienced guys, of just, hey, let's just worry about being the best you can be on the next play.
Coach, you hinted at scripting the first play, but how many plays do you script?
Well, usually about 12. We obviously situation can fluctuate it, whether third down, red zone, back to the wall, some of those. Usually we script about 12 plays of and they might not be the first 12 plays, but 12 plays will kind of go on the script of things we want to see early in the game and calls we want to get early in the game.
And then you also talked about the quarterbacks grading as champions. What is your grading system?
Yeah,
How does
well,
that
I mean,
work?
you grade, if you grade 80%, you're a champion in the game. So both of them graded over 80%.
Coach, Jet had a big game, 10
Yeah.
carries for 137 yards. Is that the ideal usage that you want to see out of him, but you have such utility in the backfield?
Well, I think one of the things that you're able to see with the depth at running back, and especially the ability to keep people fresh, and not have to wear them down. The running backs, our guys, and the speed it brings, the power it brings. Of as you said, he put up some big numbers, and is not sitting in the training room until Tuesday afternoon because he got beat up and battered throughout the course of the game because of the depth we have in the running back room, the ability to rotate guys through, the ability to be able to utilize those guys potentially on special teams and keeping great players on the field in all the different phases certainly helps. Awesome. Thank y'all.
Reed, Coach was talking about, it's kind of a cliche, but usually 1 week to the second week you get better and you improve the most after watching the film and correctable things. Do you think that'll happen this week from first week to second week, given how many new guys you guys have?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. I think a new team like this needs... Yeah, I definitely think we'll improve this week. A new team like this, chemistry's still building. I definitely think as an O-line, we're getting closer, and this week, as we move forward, we know what to fix and where to improve. So I think as a team, as a whole, I think we'll improve as well.
Marcel, I know that you're from North Texas, but a lot of family coming to see you at Houston.
Oh, yeah, got a whole crew ready to rock.
So all your tickets are out. The other question was, can you tell us about the interception and walk us through that play?
I just remember it was a big moment in the game. It was back and forth all game, tied up, big third down, and coach gave me the call, got the call related to everyone, and I just lined up and got into my drop, went through my progressions, seen he looked to the left first, and then he went back to the right. So I'm like, you got to be coming back to the left. Just made a play on the ball, broke on the route, and was able to change the momentum in the game.
Reed, I'll start with you. Coach was talking about making sure that the O-line just goes on to the next play no matter what mistake was happened. As a leader on this O-line, how do you keep your guys focused and just moving on to the next play?
Yeah, exactly like you said, it's next play mentality. I mean, you take bad footwork, you give up a big play, you can't think about that next play or it's going to keep happening. You just got to roll with it. You got to keep playing and like you said, just next play mentality.
And then last night, just a night practice. What kind of urgency did you see at practice?
Oh, there's a huge urgency. It's a night practice. It's a different schedule. We're rolling with how it's going right now. I think we were all ready to practice, and we needed a hard practice after a game like that, and I think we were all ready to go.
And Marcel, just on your side of the ball, what did you see last night from your guys?
A lot more sense of urgency, a lot more focus. That performance we put on film last Saturday was not who we are. It's not who we want to be. So yesterday, it was really just about setting a tone for the entire week. Lead communication, 11 hands to the ball, flying around every single play. And that's what we seen yesterday on the field. We got to go out and do it again today.
Marcel, Coach Mullen specifically talked about the final 3 drives, how the defense kind of stepped up there at the end of the game to get the win. What was different on the field, if anything?
Everyone was just really locked in. We had all 11 guys out there focused, and it was just one common goal. It was just we had to have it. We had been letting up big play after big play after big play all game, but we just came together and said, man, this is time. Now it's the fourth quarter. It's time to do or die. And we just locked in each and every drive, going out there, 11 guys doing their 111th, and we had great results, and we was able to get the victory.
Of course, you guys want to, see improvements from week 0 to week 1 for you guys. But Coach mentioned something that I thought was pretty interesting. He said that 23 of the 25 starters out there, that was their first time starting. Is that correct? He said, yeah. I mean, that's pretty incredible. It was that many guys first time starting. What are you most proud of when you look at this first game that kind of said something about your football team that you want to keep going?
Just, everyone, the moment, it was a big moment. A lot of guys first time getting their feet wet, playing, starting. So just like how guys didn't, when they made a mistake, they didn't beat themselves up about it too much. They just moved on to the next play and just they lived in the moment. They stayed in the moment. They stayed ready. And when it had to happen, it happened. And that's what it's about. No matter how the game goes, it gets to them. It's only a certain few moments where you got to have it. Like, it's do or die. And when the moments came, we had to have it. We got it. And that's what I really was most proud of.
Reed, can you talk about playing with both quarterbacks and how that's going and how you guys are moving forward with both?
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome playing with both quarterbacks. They both have different strengths, but they both execute very well. And I really, they're great guys, honestly. So I like playing with both of them. It's a lot of fun.
Reed, offensively, you guys may not have shown as much as you would in a typical game, week 0, not trying to put a ton on tape, but what were you the most proud of this week offensively?
I think we executed well at times. When we were executing, and when we weren't, we weren't. And I think if we can put it together, I think that's what's going to be good for us. I think I'm proud of when we executed, and at the level we did at that.
I guess, Reed, to get the win after facing adversity, how good is that also? You faced adversity and you prove you come through and win going forward. How much does that help you maybe even this week?
Yeah,
going on the road.
Right, yeah, it's huge. A win is a win, and it teaches us where we need to improve at, and I think that's the most valuable piece of it. A win is a win, and we move forward.
Marcel, just a quick one. You mentioned, family, everybody's coming out. Roughly how many people and who will be there supporting the Rebs?
You got mom, sister, dad, grandma, a couple of my aunts, cousins, a couple of my homeboys who I consider my family. It's about any and everybody you could think of.
Reed, will you have anybody there?
Yeah, I have a few people. Yeah.
Love it. Perfect. Few people.
One more from me, Marcel. Welch, just his 2 interceptions, just the energy that he brings on your side of the ball.
We call him Teasy. He always has energy. He brings it every day, no matter how he's feeling. He's a real energetic guy, and he had two big, huge plays for us that ultimately helped us get in the victory, and just him being able to capitalize on that moment when the time came, that just shows the type of player he is, and I'm so glad to have him on my side playing corner for me on my defense.
As far as tackling goes, what do you want to see from your guys straight out the gate?
Setting the tone early, physicality, and just letting them know that we're here. We're going to be here all night, but it's going to take all 11. We can't just depend on one guy to get there and make a play. We all got to swarm. We all got to be there. In case one guy misses, the next one can take him right down.
Mic drop.
Thanks.